Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Good morning for most, I guess. Some of you it's lunch hour. Some of you it might be Saturday already. I don't know. Everyone's from all over the place, which is why we love these. Welcome to Open Office Hours. It's almost the weekend. My name is Brandy, and I am part of the sales team here at Syncro, and I'll let Tatiana introduce herself.
Hey everybody, it's Tatiana. Welcome. Happy to see you guys here.
So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. We're so happy to have you. If you've joined us before, you know the drill. We really like to use the Q&A as we go through. And just so you guys know, there are no questions off the table today. This is absolutely for you all. It's a continued training. Some of you are in a trial. Some of you are paying for Syncro. No matter where you are in your journey, we want to help you. We will start by just letting you know we're not technical support. So there might be questions today that we're not able to answer. We might just let you know, hey, shoot a message to support and we'll drop that email address in here for you. It's not because we don't want to help, it's just because we can't. So please use the Q&A. It helps us keep organized. Tatiana and myself will be dropping a few things in the chat box as we're answering your questions. We'll drop some KBs in there that will help you guys. Today's session will be recorded and we'll be posting it probably on Monday on our YouTube channel where all of the other recordings will be. But I just want to hand it over to Tatiana. She'll be kicking us off with some branding today.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm super excited today, you guys, because I do get this question a lot on demos. If you guys haven't gotten a demo from Syncro, it's either myself or Brandy who are your account rep, and we do recommend it. It's going to give you an awesome overview of Syncro and kind of help get you started and point you in the right direction. So with that being said, today we're going to talk about branding. We want to make you look good in front of your customers. And so today I'm going to show you all the settings you have to adjust to make sure your logo is visible instead of ours. We are going to fly through these, but this is again being recorded. So if you have any questions or if it's kind of flying through, you do have something to reference. So first, I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about, what those things look like, and then exactly how to set them up. So actually, we're going to start, if you go over to our knowledge base section, I do recommend taking a look at the getting started with Syncro KB, because this is going to be a active checklist for you guys to go through, even if you are already set up or you're kind of closer to the finish line, or if you're just starting out. This is what I would recommend to make sure you're not missing anything. Everything I'm going to be showing you today is going to be listed here KB by KB. So I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware that that is a resource available to you guys. So first place we're going to start is we're actually going to head over to more and admin section, and we're going to take a look at the account profile section in here. So this is where you would want to upload your logo, and just putting your logo in here is going to carry it over to a lot of other different places within Syncro. So I'm also going to pull up the first place is going to be what your customer can see from their perspective when they access their customer portal. So I've opened up a customer profile. I'm going to see what the account looks like from the main point of contact's perspective. So this would be the admin. And there you go. There your logo would be kind of top left corner. Also, putting in that account profile logo is going to be visible on your PDFs, whether they're the invoices, the tickets, or estimates. This is going to show kind of right here front and center. If you have not customized these yet, I'll show you where to find those settings as well. We'll head over to the admin section and we'll get over to the PDF and email templates. And again, I'll show you the invoice template since it looks a little bit different than the estimates one. And there you go, your logo is here front and center. You can edit anything that you need to in here. These PDFs, again, are completely customizable by you to make it look and feel exactly the way that you want it to. Also, that logo will carry over to any reports that you send to your customers, but those are pretty straightforward. Once you click into them, you can see them. I'm not going to kind of preview those today. Next section that will show the logo is any pop-ups on your customer's side. So I'll go over and into the assets and RMM section, and together we're going to send a broadcast message to all of our end users. We're going to say, yep, I'm going to send this to all my Syncro devices. I'm going to say, hi, happy Friday. It's a wonderful day today, and send the broadcast message just so everyone is aware of this super important announcement that I have for them today. Then we'll see what it looks like from the customer's perspective. I'm going to launch into a Syncro live session, and I'll show you what that looks like. Head over to the remote desktop. And here you go. Here is that broadcast message that I sent there with my logo here front and center. You'll also notice that since we're right in this section here, I'll show you what the agent contact form branding looks like with your logo as well. I'm going to click into the system tray icon and pull up the agent contact form. And again, this is what it'll look like from your customer's perspective. Your logo here front and center. They can include a screenshot, send their request. That request is going to filter in as a ticket right into your own ticketing system within Syncro. I'll also show you how to set up this agent contact form. So again, if we go back into Syncro, we're going to go to more policies. I'm going to open two tabs here, the agent contact forms as well as the actual policy. So first thing you would want to do is set up your agent contact form. In this section here, again, by default, by you uploading your account logo, that's what it will be using by default. But if you want to get super fancy and you want to put your customer's logo in here so that they see that when they're using that system tray icon agent contact form, they would see their logo here based on what you are editing right in here. So that's one tip for you. So once you set up the actual agent contact form, you do need to make sure you apply it to the actual policy. So scroll down about halfway, and this is where you can design what your customer can see, the menu from that system tray. So again, if you want to send them to a website of your choice, here we go. Here's my agent contact form. I have mine. The menu title says need help setting up your account, or emergency ticket. And again, that's what that they can see from their perspective is this menu that you just built for them right on this side. And then the next one I'll show you guys is going to be how to actually customize the system tray icon. You can put your own logo in here, and it is in a different place than that agent, that account profile. So we're going to go back to the admin section, and we are going to scroll down just a bit under RMM settings and preferences, and you'll see that you can put your own square ICO file right in here. I do recommend taking a look at this specific KB for that one because it does require, again, it has to be a square ICO file, and if you do run into any issues, again, I recommend looking at the KB first, and then also you can reach out to our support if you need any help troubleshooting if it's not populating for some reason for you. And then the last thing today that I'll mention for you guys, and I got the opportunity to show this off to you guys just a couple of weeks ago. I feel like it's been a little bit longer than that, but just in case those of you who are new here haven't seen this yet, we do have some marketing materials for you guys. I'll show you, we have two different versions, and this is super easily brandable by you. The first version is going to be the Google Doc. Both of these have the same information contained in them, and I'll show you the differences and why we built two for you guys. So first one, super easy. I'll put these into the chat box for you guys, and all you have to do is just make your own copy, and then that way you can start editing and saving your own copy. But here you can put your own logo, you can pop in your business information. And again, this is just a quick and easy doc to help you sell your services to your customers. You can tell them, hey, we are going to be here to handle any IT headaches for you. We will make sure that you guys are always up and running. We will make sure your data is always backed up. You are not running into any security issues. When you hire new employees, we'll make sure that they are up and running on the first day instead of 2 weeks later, they still don't know how to log into their computer. So again, super useful, really quick information to help kind of guide you through that sales process and utilize these marketing materials. The second version is going to be, we used Canva to it's again, same exact information. This one just looks a lot prettier. It's a free account of Canva. You don't have to pay anything for it. It's not completely affiliated with Syncro. It's just where we built this resource for you guys. And again, what it looks like is just like this. You can update the colors, you can update the font if that's what you prefer, put of course your own business information in here. Again, it contains the same exact information as that first doc that I showed you guys. It just looks prettier and has more options for customizing. So that's it. That's what I have for you guys today. And again, I'll drop those marketing materials into the chat box. And if you guys do have any questions, please do let us know. We are more than happy to address them for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tatiana. That was great. I do get a lot of questions about this, so super, super helpful. We've got quite a few questions that have popped into the Q&A. Evan says, well done, Tatiana, so great job. I'm going to go ahead and start at the top. So Doug, okay, loving the product so far in our extended trial. Awesome. But I have a couple of questions. Under the customer documentation section, is that secure and encrypted? Could we store things like passwords in there, or is that not a good idea? We have a customer with multiple locations. Each location has a manager. Would it be possible to only give access to tickets at each location for each manager so they are not seeing all of the tickets? Great questions, first of all. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. There's a few things here. I would recommend, if you are wanting to store any encrypted or sensitive information, I would do that here under the customer section rather than do it in documentation, because documentation isn't encrypted. I would use Password Vault. So I know we talked about this last week, but if you head into the App Center, scroll down and use Password Vault, it's included, but you do have to set up Password Vault before you can have encrypted custom fields. Then you can use custom fields for a customer, a contact, a ticket, or an asset. So if you want to store sensitive information about a customer, or you want to store sensitive information about a contact, then you can absolutely do that here. And I would highly suggest doing it via custom fields. That's going to be the most secure in our platform. We actually don't hold a key to that. You're the only one. So if you ask us for a password reset, we wouldn't be able to assist you. So super secure. If you want the KB on the Password Vault, we can absolutely send that along. And then your second question as far as contacts goes and location. So for the customer portal, you can absolutely have different types of permissions here. So for example, if you want one person to be able to see the whole company's tickets and every other contact to just see their own tickets and be able to create a ticket, there's a lot of different sections on the customer portal that you can give access to someone. However, this is not going to break it up by location. So what I would recommend doing, if you do need to do that and break it up by location or site, then you would need to set them up as separate customers. So really, I know it isn't always ideal, but if you're wanting to report differently and you're wanting to view different like groups of tickets, then I would suggest that, because the customer portal is going to either give them access to the whole company's tickets or to just their own. So hopefully that answered your question there. Really good one. Brianna is asked, Tatiana, loving the Zoom background. Quick question. I think we've gone over this before, but what's the easiest way to define contacts within a customer, specifically for situations such as a billing contact versus a ticket notification contact? So let me just pop my screen open again. And since I'm already on this customer page, if you pop over to the contacts, you're going to notice here receive billing emails. So you would want to select them here. Same thing holds true with like marketing emails. As far as the tickets, that is going to go to the contact that is associated with that particular ticket. You can add additional CCs onto that ticket if you would like to. So for example, if I have a ticket open, you can add anyone else. If you just start typing, it's going to pull someone from that particular account, the different contacts. So you could absolutely do that as well. And then if it happens to be a ticket that's created from like the system tray icon, and there's not a contact on that particular asset or assigned to that asset, it's going to go to the main contact on that account. So make sure that the main contact on the account is who you would want to get any default or overflow tickets handed over to. So hopefully that helps you there. Richard is asking, can we get a feature roadmap? I know they like surprises, like the reports, but I would like to be able to plan based on the roadmap. We don't have a public facing roadmap. We, as most of you guys know and hear, our developers are incredible. They work super, super fast. They're very aggressive with shipping new features. But we also know that things take time and things don't always go exactly in the same order, because you never know what's going to come up. So we want to make sure everything is completely tested and thorough before we give you something. And we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So we're not going to post that publicly. If you do join our Facebook group though, they'll give you some pretty good sneaks in there. And they've started this awesome new thing where you can put in your quality of life suggestions. And it seems lately that they've been shipping one every single week, which is awesome. And you can kind of upvote other people's and add your input. And I have found that that's been really, really helpful. I'm going to show you one in a little bit that was just released this week. But that's the reason behind it. So I like to just share that with you guys. But we definitely, you can always ask us if there is something that's very pressing, and we're happy to pass that along. And I'm going to take one more before I lose my breath and hand it over to Tatiana. So Isaac is asking, we have a retail storefront and perform a lot of cell phone and computer repair. Is there an easy way to check in those devices and customers? Maybe an iPad app that we can use to streamline the process. So great question. And what you can actually do, if you guys don't know, we started as a computer repair company with Repair Shopper. So a lot of our features are going to be, we've got a lot of those features. So cell phone repair, jewelry repair, auto repair, things like that. We do have a kiosk mode that you can use. So some people like to use this for they'll put it on an iPad. So you could have this at the front. Someone can type in their information. I can fill this out, and then it's going to ask for issue description. It's going to check you in. So you can absolutely do that. And then we also have the point of sale module as well. So you're also going to have this. This would obviously be on your side on a register, but you'll also have the option to add selling products to walk-in customers and retail locations as well. Hopefully that helps.
Super helpful. Thank you so much, Brandy. I have a question here from Derek. He says, I'd love a dive into how ticket notifications work. Ideally, when someone from a company emails in a ticket request, I'd like the requester to get an email that it was opened. I'd also like public comments to be emailed to them. And I'd like to see that it has been closed also by email. The customer main email address should only be used for notifications. So I'll share my screen. I'll show you guys a couple different things. So first thing is we're going to head over to the admin section, scroll all the way down over to your mailboxes. And in the mailboxes section, you do have the ability to, this is how original tickets can be created. If you set up like a support or help at yourcompany.com, you should set, yes, I want tickets to only be created either for existing customers or always for anyone. And then you can also say, send, lead, and ticket autoresponder respectively. And this is where you would actually set it up, is they would get it. So again, this answers the first part of your question, is when they email in, this would be the autoresponder that they get. The second option that you have here too is, if we're going back to the admin section under tickets, ticket automations, you have the capability in here to basically build an automation to where your public notes will be emailed by default if that's what you set here. So if you say ticket status is changed to, let's say it's waiting on customer, then you can say, I want to add a public comment, and you can update either the subject there. And then when you use this specifically here, I did verify with our support team that public comments on the ticket communication are going to be visible in the customer, on their portal, and the PDF template if you're doing it just right from the ticket template. So I'm going to open an actual ticket, kind of just dive all the way in here. And in this section here, you'll be able to, again, kind of, when you're using a public comment here, this is only going to be available via the customer portal or on the PDF template of the communications with the customer. So if you're trying to leave a public note, you can do that here. You can also obviously use the email, but if you want the public note to be triggering an email as well, you would need to do that through the ticket communication section. And then I think the last part said, I'd like them to see that it has been closed also by email. So I think you would use ticket automations for that as well. You can say ticket status is, you know, closed or ready to invoice or whatever it may be, any random ticket status. You can say, okay, now I want to email the customer or contact that information there. So hopefully that helps point you in the right direction. I'm going to answer a couple other questions here. Question from Rafi, he says, is there a way to get notification for chat requests other than just the indicator bubble? So yes, when you get a new chat request, it'll show up in here. It'll have like a kind of look like this. But if you also go over to your admin section, and this this notification center specifically seems to just kind of keep growing and growing as we continue adding more and more features. But anytime we ship something new, I'd also recommend just kind of taking a look in the notification center. There's probably settings you can adjust in here. And so yes, you can say, if there's 4 options now, and whatever the event might be, you can tell Syncro how you want it to respond, or how you want to be notified. Do you want an email, text, in-app notification, which is going to look like this, mobile app push, webhook is Slack, Teams is Teams. So hopefully that helps answer your question there.
Awesome. Thank you, Tatiana. Okay, couple things here. So how Thomas is asking, how do you connect with Syncro Live without customer confirmation? I think what you're referring to is just unattended access. So what's going to happen is, I've got a lot of things open over here. So if I just pop open a policy, you can connect to Syncro Live without customer confirmation always. So it's by default going to be unattended access. If you want to request permission, if your customer requires you to request permission, then you're going to find that in a policy. You'll scroll down to require attended access. And what's going to happen on their end, unless anything has changed, to my knowledge, it's they can either grant you 3 hours of access, 24 hours of access, or deny access. But if you do not have this selected, then you'll be able to connect to Syncro Live without customer confirmation there. So really good question. And then it looks like Todd is asking, is there any way to schedule an invoice but then approve it before it's mailed to a client? So we don't have any type of like approval process for the recurring invoices. You can go in at any point in time and you could view the recurring invoice, but you're not going to have the option to be able to just approve that before it's sent. But really good question, and I think that's a feature request at the time. And then Paul, with the leads entry module, is there a way to show only certain issue types? We have a number of issue types that we use internally for organizing tickets that we don't want to expose publicly when using the lead entry module. So for the lead entry, no, I did go in and look at the different lead settings, and that was not one of them. I'm playing around with the different widgets, repair widgets in the back end. So I'll let you know if I find out anything about, but currently no as far as the lead entry goes.
Awesome. Super helpful. Thank you, Brandy. Anonymous says, what is the symbol next to the customer's name? How can we do this? Good eye. Not a lot of people know about the setting, and this is what you get when you come to open office hours and you ask awesome questions. So I'll let Brandy show off some of the symbols there, but I think specifically what you're referring to is this symbol right here next to the customer's name. As you can see, if I hover over mine, it says happy. And where this specific symbol is coming from is I built a custom field. I named mine billing status. It's a drop-down menu, and I called mine happy. So happy means they're current, unhappy means they're past due. And so I'll show you guys how to set this up. If you go over to the custom fields, you go over to manage custom fields. And when you are building them, again, I'll go over to my billing status one, and I'll show you exactly how I have mine set up. But here I said billing status, the field type is a drop-down menu, happy, and right here is the symbol that's populating there. So there's a ton for you to choose from. Apparently whoever set this one up liked that one. So that is where that icon is pulling from. Hopefully that helps answer your question. Richard says, I think this was in reference to the roadmap question. He says, LOL, that's how I know about the reports. LOL is they are on the Facebook group. So you heard it from Richard, guys. Facebook is kind of front line of all the behind the scenes, I guess, secret news. Thomas, your question says, is it allowed to translate this documents? Can you specify what translation you're looking for? For those of you guys that don't know, you can update your locale. This is also one of the first things that you would be setting up when you're first coming to Syncro. And so I think that's under general preferences. And then this is when you update your locale here, it would automatically translate everything that is translatable. Unfortunately, at this time, there isn't a way for us to translate things even further. But if you test it, for example, into a different locale, you'll see when you launch into a to see what your customer portal looks like. Most of it is translated. And again, if you do have further requests, please send those to our support team. We're happy to pass them along to our development team as well. I'll also answer this one from Anonymous. They say, are there any plans on more updates to the ticket dashboard? On certain resolutions, the numbers fall off the screen. So I'm gonna share my screen, show you guys what they're referring to. So the first thing that came to mind is this section here. Because you can, when you're just in the tickets section, you can customize all the different columns here. So I'm imagining this could be something that you're referring to, is you can add a lot more columns and it's kind of not fitting in your screen. I don't know too much about anything coming soon to that. Alternatively, too, for those of you that haven't seen this yet, we do have a ticket dashboard. You can customize what this dashboard looks like, what the colors mean to you, different things like that. I haven't, and you can also share with the links if you want to pop it up on a separate screen or something like that. I honestly haven't heard of any updates to either of those. And again, if you send in a ticket to our support team, it's help@syncromsp.com, and you explain, like, for you specifically, on certain resolutions, the numbers fall off the screen. That's obviously a huge deal. So please do let our support team know, and they can pass it along to the devs for us. And then the last one I'll address here just right at the top. Todd asks 2 questions. Do you know how OpenID integrates? I personally don't. But if any of you guys that are here today that are using the integration, please let us know. I'm happy to pass that along to everyone else. You can pop that into the Q&A section, unless you know, Brandy. I don't
know. No, and I think we answered his other one. I just saw them out of order, but yeah, unfortunately we don't have that. Thomas was asking to translate the marketing materials.
Oh, I see. I don't think we would be translating those, but with that Google Doc specifically, that one's probably the easiest way, because you can just type in whatever, literally anything that you want in there. And I mean, same thing with the Canva one. The Canva one just offers more design options if you want to, like, a really, really sleek look. But yes, you can edit those however you want to. Those, or you can do whatever you want with those.
Yes, awesome. Darren just has a comment about the invoice, the recurring invoice or the scheduled invoice. He said just set the automatically generated recurring invoice to not be emailed automatically, and it's generated but not emailed.
Smart.
So you could do that. Thank you for that, Darren. We really appreciate that. And like I said, you guys are the MSPs. You all are the ones who are working, running your business out of Syncro. We're giving product tours. So if there are certain things that you guys have played around with and, workarounds and something that's worked for your business, feel free to share those when other people are asking questions. We really appreciate that. Michael, and two, just a little heads up, if you guys don't mind, please drop your questions in the Q&A, because sometimes they get lost in our chat box. We don't really open the chat box unless we're sending something to you guys. So please ask those questions in the Q&A. But I do see a question from Michael. So is there a way to get a pop-up notification or alert when you open a customer's tickets? For example, if there's a balance on the customer's invoice that has not yet been paid, basically something that's of high importance and requires you to acknowledge the message and have to exit, rather than just having it in the notes, if that makes sense. So really, really good question. There's going to be a couple pieces to this. So one, let me just open up my admin section here, because you can absolutely have a pop-up custom field. It's not going to automatically do this, like if they do have a balance or something like that. So it is going to be a manual process for you. But if you go over to customers, or in the admin section, we do have customer, contact, asset. And then if you go down to ticket, we do have ticket custom fields as well. Any of those can be pop-ups. So I could come in here and you could create a pop-up, but this is going to have to be a selected custom field for that customer. So what I would probably recommend doing in this instance is, if you train your technicians to creating the tickets from the customer page, when they go search for the customer, it would be a pop-up here that says like outstanding balance or something like that, because you would have had to specifically select that custom field type in the ticket in order for that to show up. And so if you don't know, I might choose it's a virus removal custom field, and then instead it's going to bring in my virus removal stuff rather than giving me that pop-up. up. So I would probably do it on a customer level if I was you. But while I'm here, I just want to show, and I don't recall who it was who mentioned this, but one of those quality of life features that shipped this week from the Facebook group, I love it, is now if you're searching all things up here, I can search for customer. And you're going to notice these little quick view icons out to the right. So I can very easily just go into all of their assets or view their tickets or see their invoices, see their estimates. These quick view buttons are awesome. Another thing you could do is now I can come in and I could search for a specific device, and straight from here I can pop into a remote session. So there's going to be some quick view icons here if you guys haven't seen them already. I love that, and whoever suggested it, it was really great feature request. So that was one of those community things.
It's so exciting to see those because I would have never thought of putting an icon there, and just hearing, and now that it's there, I'm like, how was this not there before? This is literally the best thing ever. And it's not, I don't know, I think that's super cool.
I saw everyone raving about it, and I was like, wait, I gotta go see what this new feature is. So I thought that was exciting. That was neat.
Super awesome. So yeah, let's kind of go through this next question from Darren. He says, back to customizing. I see how to customize the invoice template, but is there a way to customize the ticket information that is added to the line items? For example, it lists the notes from the time entry followed by ticket number, ticket title at the end of each time entry line item. I would want to move my ticket info to the start of that entry line. So I'm sharing my screen and I'll show you guys what he is referring to. So the first spot that he was referring to is in the admin section, PDF and email templates. This is how you customize, again, the invoice templates, ticket templates, things like that. The next step would be to actually go to the admin section, ticket preferences, and open the ticket preferences. And this is missed pretty often, but you do have this additional settings button right here, which gives you probably the second half of the settings. And so in this section here, you have the ability to customize the the ticket timer charges as well as the ticket charges. These are completely separate, and just depending on what you have plugged into here is what's actually going to be carried over to the ticket line item, which will be carried over to the invoice line item. So this is going to be where you want to do some testing and take a look at the KB, which I did drop into the chat box so you can have access to it there. But again, and there is a difference. So the ticket timer tags, since we don't have any other questions in the Q&A, I'll kind of just dive right into this one. With the ticket timer tags, that's going to be in pulling in information from basically any notes or anything left when you are using the ticket timer on a ticket. So in the labor log, whether you're entering notes right into here or you are typing notes into here, it's going to pull in this information based on these ticket timer tags. And then you have another whole section of actual ticket tags. This is going to carry over more of like the different actual notes that you're leaving, whether it's in the communication section or anything else that it might be. So again, I recommend taking a look at these two settings, maybe just plugging in all of the ticket timer tags, rearranging them, taking out the ones that you don't need, and then converting the ticket into an invoice to see if that's going to be what your final goal is for your ticket to look like. And hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you, Tatiana. And Richard, I saw your question earlier. I'm sorry. I meant to tell you I emailed you the response. We don't currently have a reseller program. That was a really good question, though. But we do have a couple options for you. So I sent those over via email. Wow. That was like a lot of questions all up front. And now we've got an empty queue.
That was fun. I was going to say, let's show off something new. And you already showed the system tray or the little icons. The cute little icons. So cute.
Show us what's coming today. I truly don't know. I really don't think I know. Sorry, Sean.
I know that there's things coming with the customer portal and a lot of really big updates there. We did release, if you guys haven't seen our YouTube channel, we did release a video on kind of the changes that are coming up and how to get ready for them and things like that. And that is going to be listed here. if you guys haven't seen that yet. But beyond that, not we actually don't know. Sometimes, welcome, Crystal.
Yes, welcome.
Hi.
Oh, sorry I'm late.
That's okay. Welcome. I was going to say there's about the portal users. Sometimes I actually lost my train of thought. I don't know what the second half of that sentence is, but welcome, Crystal.
Yes.
Pop right off your train. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
We wanted Crystal to still join us today. We told her she wouldn't be bothering anyone if she came halfway through. We knew you guys would want to see Crystal, and she's always super helpful during these. So, especially because we have a lot of you guys, and it's nice. We like it.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, they stopped telling Brandy in advance. Yep, they did. No, I purposefully, she was not sleeping in. Crystal's always doing something, always working hard. They didn't stop telling me. I stopped looking because I can't help it. I can't keep it in, so I just stopped. There are a couple questions in here. So Manuel's asking any news on the PSA only licensing. So currently, if you wanted PSA only, it would be, you can do PSA only, but it would have to be for all of your users. No ETA on the mix and match, or having like a limited user type of a license, but it's still in the works. It's definitely being thought about. And then I also see Brian's question about the tabs customization. So the tabs customization, if you guys don't know, you can customize the different tabs that are going to be shown across your screen. And let me just share this with you, but it is going to be a global setting. So it's not going to be per user. But if you go in to the admin section and go to tabs customization, I'm not going to click into there because of a certain reason, but you can go into the tabs customization and change those up. So you can hide certain features. You can make your list of more very long or very short, whatever you would like, but you can reorder those globally. And I did see a question in there about pushing a one-click script to an individual client. So what you could do, and I hope this answers what you're looking for. I think it is, but if I'm off the rocker, just let me know. If you go into your scripts, any of your scripts that you have, you'll be able to mark as a favorite. When you mark a script as a favorite, let me just pop open a particular customer for you and show you what happens. So if you mark it as a favorite, I can go to any asset, and I do it from the customer page, but you can do it from any page. I just find it easier here. I can click on this little quick view button, and I can go to my favorites, and I can run that one-time script on that one device that is just a one-click script. So you could absolutely do that. Now you can go into run script and you could choose it here for that individual device as well and just run it now or run it on a schedule. In case you guys didn't know, and since we don't have a ton of questions, you can schedule or do a one-time script on an individual asset, on a policy level, or even on a saved asset search. So you can absolutely do it this way. Hopefully that helps you there.
Awesome. Sorry, I was typing something into the chat box. Question from Brian. He says, what inventory tags are supported? We currently print an 8.5 by 11 sheet of Avery labels, but it looks like your inventory tags might be intended for a Dymo roll label. So yes, I'm going to share my screen, and I dropped that into the chat box for you as the supported hardware. And so you can take a look, and yes, I do think it does have to be with one of those. And same thing here. Label sticker sizes and supported hardware is going to be listed in that KB for you. And then the other question was from Richard. He says, is it possible to print current items that are listed on a ticket? Our use cases, sometimes we have larger jobs with 20 or 30 items on a ticket, and it'd be nice to print the ticket with all items currently listed on it. Yes, I'll show you my screen. I wasn't aware of this, but it looks like if you go over to the ticketing section and if you click on the little PDF icon, you can see a large ticket view. And I believe once that this actually populates, that you can right click and make and print that one. I don't think or you can use this section right here too. And if you have auto printer set up, it'll actually just print automatically for you. But yes, I would just take a look at this setting. For some reason, maybe I don't have anything listed on my ticket, but that is what it should be showing you there.
Awesome. Thank you, Tatiana. I do have a couple questions. Jeremy, sorry, I'm talking about publishing the script to the client portal. Really good question, and thank you for that. I apologize. I misunderstood there. So just so you know, on the script section where you do have the option to make it available on every customer portal, that's only going to show up if you give every customer access to scripts. So if you select this button here, but then that particular client is the only one that has access to running a script from their portal, that's the only one it'll show up on. So you could absolutely select this option, and then just every other customer that you don't want to have this option, just unselect that. But for that customer, make it available, and then they'll be able to run the script from the portal. So what will happen, again, let me pull up Famous Larry here. And I have given access to scripting for this particular customer. So what's going to happen is on the customer portal, I can go in and view the assets, and then I can just click into any of these assets and it'll show me the scripts that so that would not be available if you don't give them access in the customer portal permission groups. And I'll grab the other one. Manual.
You're going? Okay.
Sorry, Crystal. I just see this one at the top here. So Manuel's asking, we will be testing QuickBooks integration on a test QuickBooks account. If we decide to move forward, is there any way to force a sync from QuickBooks or from Syncro to QuickBooks? So yes, whenever you, I'm not sure if you're using QuickBooks Online or desktop, but when you do set up your integration, you'll have the option, and I always recommend setting everything up on the Syncro side, and then you're going to have a, I don't know exactly what the words are, but there's going to be a way to sync everything from Syncro over to QuickBooks rather than the other way around. So absolutely you can do that.
Sweet. I'm going to grab this one from Maurice. What's the easiest way to see all assets that need Windows updates? So let me go ahead and share my screen. We've got a great report that shows this. So if you just head over to reports, and I need to move my Zoom controls because they're in the way. But yeah, if you go to, there's a couple of different ways you can look at this, but vulnerable systems report here will show all of the assets and what missing KBs they have. And what's nice is that you could push that install from here now. So this report is really, really helpful. The other one that you can kind of look at it, but it's kind of looking at it from the opposite direction, is missing patches by KB. So this one you could see, all right, here's the KB, because sometimes I know it makes sense to like wait for a specific KB to make sure that it's okay. And then you could see, all right, it's missing on 4, and you could install straight from this report as well. So I think those are the best ways to see that information in mass. Of course, you can see it on a per asset basis as well. Then I'll just grab this other one really quick. Sometimes a new agent does not pull all of the info for a computer. How can you force the sync to rerun? So there's a few ways. It is definitely an active feature request to like force a sync, like just like a button to force a sync, but you can like quickly just even go into the policy that's applied, resave the policy, and it should force a sync that way. The other way I think is you could restart the Syncro service on that endpoint, and that will also do the trick. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. I'll take the next one here at the top. Richard says, when I do a large ticket, it only shows comment history, asset names to the ticket, and any custom fields. It does not print any of the items in the add or view charges section. So I'll share my screen. I got mine to work. So yes, when you are in the large ticket section, I was taking a look at this too, and I do see that there, that it's not out of the things that are actually being charged to the ticket or being billed for are not visible. And I think this has to do with maybe you are giving your contacts access to the customer portal and you're letting them see what's being done on their ticket, but maybe your customer or whoever the owner of the business is doesn't want them to see any of the billing items that are listed there. So I almost feel like this might be a by design type of a thing. I'm not 100% sure though. So that was kind of my first thought there. The second thought I had too is you could also, if you're taking a look at, I kind of was scrolling through, I didn't see a way to pull in charges here, but I would just kind of take a second look for me and see if you can edit the ticket template and see if any of those available tags will pull in those charges. Because yeah, even though I do have time that's charged to the ticket, it's not listing on that large ticket response. I think the only other thing that you could do there would be to preview the invoice, and that's where that would be listed if you added the pending ticket charges to that invoice. So hopefully that at least points you in the right direction. And then I'll take this other question from Todd. He says, I have a repeat break fix client that we visit at least once a week. Can you recommend the best way to track time and materials for a tech when he leaves the site? Would having him submit a ticket be the easiest? I would say so, yes. So if you have, and we have a really cool feature if you guys weren't aware, we have a way to, when you are scheduling an appointment, you have the capability to automatically attach any other product or service from your inventory. So let's say I'm building a new appointment, I'm going to schedule for this ticket right here, and you can say that based on the type of appointment that this is going to be, that it will also pull in a charge. So you can say if this is an on-site appointment, then I'm going to go ahead and create that, and it's going to be for that ticket right there. And so what that will do is it will actually pull in a charge, like a trip charge, if that's what you want. So I just opened the ticket, and as you can see, it now automatically added the trip charge to make sure you're not leaving any money on the table or somebody's forgetting to charge something. But other than that, yes, I would create a ticket, I would set an appointment with that trip charge, and then the tech would then just kind of leave any notes of what they were doing, what maybe hardware that you're selling to your customer. You can pull that into here as well, whether it's whatever it might be. And then you also have the capability, again, once the ticket is complete and done and ready to go, you can still use the recurring invoices, even though this is not a customer that you have a ongoing contract, MSP type of a all-you-can-eat type of a model. So you could still set up a recurring invoice. You can say, I want this to run on the 1st of the month, or whenever makes the most sense for you. And then you can just say, I want to add any pending ticket charges. So whatever your tech left the notes, whatever actual time that they charged to the ticket is going to get pulled into an invoice at the end of the month for that customer. And maybe there's a couple months that they don't give you a call. You can just say, do not allow a generation of blank invoices so he doesn't get sent anything. But again, just pull in the pending ticket charges and it should take care of that for you.
Right. My turn. Okay. I don't think, I just wanted to say, Peter, we're not skipping over this question. I don't have a great example of using the left nav bar in documentation. So I'm just saying that, and then I don't know if either of you do. I don't. I mean, I can show you on ours. I'll just show it. I'll just show you because I think that this is an area, we talk about this often. This is definitely an area where we would like, maybe, I think we plan to see some improvements here, but you have the ability to, like, if you start, so it tells you here, if you start like the title of the documentation page with left nav, it'll pop it over here and it'll like add to the list over here. That's essentially the extent of my knowledge there on that one. But if you do have any questions, if it's not functioning the way that this is saying it, it should just reach out to our technical support team. But that's what it should do. Create the name with left nav, and then it puts it over here into this section. Okay. I was going to say Brian imported 140,000 tickets from ConnectWise Manage, but none of the ticket entries came over. Ticket time entries came over. Is that by design? So I did pull this up. I actually think that is by design. I don't think we bring in ticket timer with that import. And for all of you that are using ConnectWise, if you haven't seen this, we do have an awesome importer here. And I mean, it worked really well, bringing over 140,000 tickets, which is awesome to hear. We're always looking for ways to, you know, increase information that we're bringing over and make these importers better and better. So I definitely think that we could pass that request along. All right. I've got a few that I grabbed here that I'll just talk through since I'm unmuted. What is the best way to push programs that are not part of the list in Chocolatey? So there's a couple ways. You could do it just by running a script. That's what I think most folks do. The other thing, if you don't want to do like a one-off script, one thing that I love is in a policy, if it's like something that, like, say you go to an office building and they all have this one particular program that isn't in the Chocolatey library, you could put that into a policy. So if you scroll down to the bottom here, you'll see these setup scripts. This is a really great use case to install something along with Syncro as you're installing that. So whether it's one-off or even, you know, selecting a group of assets in mass and then pushing a script in bulk, those are the ways to do that. Manuel says, when I run a software inventory, we see multiple entries for the different office installations. It would be great to click in the line and dig further to see which computers are running the software. Absolutely. Feature request right now. I've seen it mentioned several times. I would pop that into Facebook, into that community track stuff, because this is like one of those really, I think that would be awesome as well. Sorry, last one that I grabbed. Can we give customers access to any of the reports in the customer portal? Not at this time. Of course, most of the reports you can set up and run on a schedule to send to your customers. So it's kind of hands off for you. They receive the report whenever you want them to on an automated schedule, but not like you can push it like a documentation to the customer portal at this point. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Rafi's asking, is there a way to block a patch too? So we currently don't have a way to block an individual patch, but let me just show you something really quickly, if I can. So what you can do in those policies is you can hold back a category if you want to. We don't have the ability to block an individual KB number right now, but that is on the roadmap. I don't have an ETA there. I truly don't. Sorry, Tony. But if you do go into your reports, you can view two different things. So you can either view the missing patches by KB or vulnerable systems. And if you're holding back that entire category, then of course those aren't going to install, but they will show up here on your vulnerable patches or on your vulnerable systems. So you could come in later and say, okay, I actually need to install that particular KB, and let me go ahead and push an install to all 4 of the devices that are missing that. Or you could go into the particular, the vulnerable systems report, which is going to show any device that's missing patches, and you could push those here. You can also ignore stale and new patches. So that would be kind of a workaround at the time, but we hear you, we get that quite a bit, and I would just continue to submit those feature requests to add to the list.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandy. Question from Maurice. He says, is there a way to resync PAX 8 to Syncro to push new customers from Syncro to PAX 8? I actually don't have a really good answer for this. The most the majority of what you'll be doing with the PAX 8 integration is going to be actually done from within the PAX 8 side. So whether you're purchasing licenses that you're looking to resell to your customers, again, PAX 8 is built in with an iframe. So I think, again, even if you're making any changes, like you purchase new licenses and you need to sync it to the proper recurring invoice so that you can easily bill your customers for those licenses, all of that is controlled, I would say, on the PAX 8 side. And so again, I'm going to send some resources to you on the PAX 8 Partners Guide and a couple other videos, and hopefully that will kind of point you in the right direction. But I think that would be a question for them. Question from Brian says, can you please show us the steps to have newly created invoices automatically emailed to the client so we don't have to manually send it? Yes. I think the best way to do this, if you don't want to handle emailing anything yourself, is just to set up a recurring invoice. So it sounds like your current process is where you are setting up the ticket and then you're turning the ticket into an invoice and then you're manually emailing it. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like you're manually emailing those invoices now. So you could do that, but if you don't want to do that entire process manually yourself, what I would recommend is just make sure that the time is being charged to the ticket by default. And then that way, all of the time that you're spending is going to be listed as charged here. And so once the time is charged to the actual ticket, when you're setting up your recurring invoices, that's going to be really easy for your customer, for you to basically not have to do anything at all. Is once you have your recurring invoice set up, again, you can specify a schedule here and then just say add any pending ticket charges. You can now also even filter by ticket status. So let's say, for example, you're only billing your customers once the ticket is complete. You can say I only want to bill for resolved tickets. For most people, they bill based on the work that's already been done. Doesn't matter if the ticket is closed, so just leave those blank. But instead of creating the invoice each time after each ticket, just leave it in the ticket charges and have the recurring invoice take care of the work for you, and then just email the customer the PDF. And that's it. Let's see. Last question from Joshua, and I'll let you ladies take over. He asks, is it possible to import existing tickets from Spiceworks? That depends on if you can get those tickets into a CSV. So at this time within Syncro, there is a ton of things that you can import yourself. So if you just search for import in the report section, you can import your customers, inventory, and so those are, and also if you are in the contact section, you can import those as well. For tickets specifically, email our support. They'll give you a CSV format. If you can kind of organize your tickets in that way, they will be able to upload that for you and apply it to your account. So that would be the next step.
Sweet, thanks. Let's see. I'm gonna grab this one from Larissa. Am I able to void invoices or only apply 100% discounts? You can, this is what I don't know. This is where the disconnect is for me. If there hasn't been a payment received on an invoice, you can just delete the invoice. I don't know what that syncs over to QuickBooks. I don't know if it voids it over there. I don't know if it clears it out on the QuickBooks side. That's the part that I just was hesitant to answer, because you can do it in Syncro. I just don't know what happens on the accounting side. So I guess maybe the short answer is yes, you can void invoices in Syncro. But maybe a quick technical support question would be what happens in QuickBooks or Xero if I do that. The other one I was going to grab, Brian wants to know if we deploy 500 agents, then a month later add a new section in the setup scripts section of the policy, will it run that script against the previously installed agents? So let me just share my screen really quick. I'm going to show you just a couple options. If this is like something that obviously this is a script you'd want running now from today forever, you could, from what I'm seeing here, if you add a setup script here, you can say always upon installation or if never run. Like I believe if you put if never run and add this setup script to this policy, it'll run it on all of those endpoints. The other way to do that, if it's not something you'd want to like, okay, from now until forever, I want that setup script on here. You could run a saved asset search and say, okay, everyone on the base package policy here, you could grab all those endpoints, you could select them all, and then you could run that script to do it. So there's two different ways you could do that. I think it just depends on, how moving forward, if that's what you want on your policy. I don't know how to answer this one. Do you know what we could use to automate the compliance of assets? So I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know if I'm not sure what that means. Maybe if you want to clarify. So we've got 2 minutes left. One thing that I wanted to do is I'm just going to hop over here. I'm not sure if any of you are ASCII members or considering becoming an ASCII member. It's a really great community for MSPs. I just wanted to tell you, we are attending our first virtual ASCII conference next week, and I do have free passes. So you can actually sign up here. I have the code. If you want to sign up and go to ASCII as a guest of Syncro, can you just shoot me an email? I'll go ahead. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat. it's just Crystal at syncromsp.com. Let me just do that. Crystal at syncromsp.com. If you feel like attending a free virtual event, there's a ton of really awesome content. Just shoot me an email and I'll send you the code and you can sign up and attend and see some pretty cool stuff. That's my shameless ASCII plug. Sorry for joining late. Thank you though for letting me hop in because I do love these and I didn't want to miss all of it.
Thank you for joining us.
Yay.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Rafi. Well, wonderful. Well, I will let the gals sign us off.
Nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'll be the first to say, again, super grateful for you guys. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend and stay safe.
Yes, have a great weekend and we'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.